The da'wah has come leaps and bounds. So much so now that some of us are looking further abroad. Maybe we can carry it to other countries.
Inshallah.
Inshallah. But this da'wah will, inshallah, Allah will establish this da'wah like He said to Khabbab ibn Arat, that this religion will prevail up until a man will travel from Sana'a to Hadramaut. Even though the Khawarij may hate that, and Ahlul Bidah may hate that, this da'wah will be established. That's why they hate. That's why they keep going on about Muhammad bin Abdul-Waahid, Muhammad bin Abdul-Waahid. Why? Because they hate Saudi Arabia, which is the most stable Muslim country in the world. And it is the land of Tawheed. There are no graves that are worshipped there. There are Islamic universities that teach the Kitab and the Sunnah upon the way of the Salaf. The Aqeedah is the Aqeedah Sahiha, Aqeedah of Shaykh al-Islam Muhammad ibn Abdul Waahid, and the Aqeedah of Imam Ahmad ibn Hanbal, and Imam Shafi'i, and Sufyan, and Fudail, and others. Why would you hate a land like this? Jealous of their wealth, are you? Jealous of the throne, are you? Or you think you can do better? Half these guys can't even manage their 3-bedroom house, if they have one. Right? They can't even manage their own families and paying their rent on time. But they're quick to point fingers at that Darut Tawheed. We don't say they are perfect. You're not going to find perfection. They are not perfect. But we make dua for them. And we aid them when they do good. And we ask Allah to guide them when they make a mistake. That is the right of a Muslim upon another Muslim. But Ahlul Bidah, they hate them. You won't find a single Muqtadi'. They will go to them begging for money because they want their mosque, right? Once they get their money, you see what they say at the minbar. Those Wahhabis and those people, look at them. But when they want their money, Shaykh, we are trying to build a mosque. I remember sitting in a dars of one of the Mashaykh in Medina. Tablighi came in. Shaykh Yusuf Zakhil, rahimahullah ta'ala. Tablighi, a couple came in. No one knew, we didn't know they were Tablighi. I was sitting there, Abu Hakim and a group of them. But this was back in the late 90s, or mid to late 90s, maybe about 98 or something. He came in, Ya Shaykh, we've got this mashru', we got this, what do you call it? Project. We got this project here, we're building a masjid in America, in a village, or in a town in America. The Shaykh said, Tayyib, what kind of da'wah do you give? He said, Ya Shaykh, we converted the whole town to, they're all Muslims now. He said, how? He said, we walked into a church, they allowed us to preach, and the whole town is Muslim. There's an American brother there, he said, Kadhab. American brother, you're lying. What are you lying for? Speak with sidq, what are you lying for? So the Shaykh said, no, don't argue, let him finish. Turns out the man is from Jamaat al-Tabligh. But he wants the money of who? Of the Saudis. To build their bid'ah. So the Shaykh, he advised them. He said, first, this is what I do. First and foremost, study Salatul Usul, Qaidul Arba. Study Kitab al-Tawheed. Learn your deen. Become steadfast upon the deen. Learn the usul of the sunnah, the usul of the aqidah. Follow the sunnah of the Prophet ﷺ. Abandon deviations. Then we can move forward. So obviously he left. We never saw him again. Right? Maybe he's going to knock on someone else's door afterwards. Wallahi, as for ourselves, neither the masjid here in Stoke, nor the masajid in London, Masjid bin Baz, Markaz al-Sunnah, definitely not Markaz Darul Sunnah, none of them got money from any government. And if you look at some of them, you can see, like one of the, I think it was our brother Shamsi, Hafidhullah, he said that he met someone, or someone told him of a friend of theirs who was saying, oh, look at these people at Darul Sunnah in Shepherd's Bush. They're funded by the Saudis, no doubt. Look at them. Look how they give da'wah and how they must have money, these people. Yeah, their masjid is funded. So the brother said to him, he came to Shamsi. Shamsi said, no problem. Tell him, just take him to the masjid. So they took him to the masjid, and the brother said, Wallahi, there is no way these guys are funded by anyone. It was just a hut, And you have Masjid Sunnah in West London, Markaz Mu'adh in Slough, and you have, what's the one in Ibn Sirin in Bristol, right?
Bristol, yeah.
Markaz Tawheed in Cardiff, Masjid Sunnah in Birmingham, Masjid Salafi in Birmingham, Masjid Furqan in Stoke, and Masjid Abi Hurairah in Stoke, Markaz al-Salafi in Manchester, Masjid al-Sunnah in Bradford, and others from the various masajid. All of them by the permission of Allah, from the wealth of the Muslims, from the sweat of their brow. And this is all we ask. So we do not defend and we do not forbid their speaking against the Muslim rulers because of any benefit that we get from them. We do get benefit from the scholars, from the universities. When we go there, we sit with the mashayikh. But as for financial aid, then no, not personal and not for our masajid. Even though it is not haram. At all it is not haram. Rather, money spent on the Masjid al-Salafi that teaches the Sunnah is khair. And it is rewardable for them and it is rewardable for us. But we never received. The point is, we never received. Not to say it is haram. Let alone that we took money from the British government. Like these kadhabeen, they say that Salafi publications took £1 million from Prevent. Ya akhi, is there no limit to your kadhib? Is there no limit to your lies? We're going to walk away with £1 million and you're not going to see the fruits of that £1 million, and there's no documentation that you have. Where did that figure come from? You could have just plucked out 10 million. Why stop at 1 million? Why don't you just tell the Ummah we took 10 million or 20 million? Where did you get the million from? Is that the first thing that came to your mind? Ya kadhab. And this is the way of Ahlul Bid'ah. The one who lies upon Allah and His Messenger, it's even easier to lie upon us, right? A man who's going to commit bid'ah, ascribing falsely to the Prophet ﷺ that which the Prophet ﷺ was not upon, ascribing to the deen of Islam that which Islam is free from. Then if they're going to do that with the deen of Allah, then who is Maktaba Salafiyya and Masjid al-Salafi and Masjid al-Sunnah in Aston? They're nothing compared to the lies that they invent against the deen of Allah. But you see them plucking these numbers out the air. In fact, a brother, I was in Asda, in case you want to know where I shop. I was in Asda at the end of the summer. I think it was the end of the summer. I remember it was a sunny day, nice bright sunny day. And I was just getting into my car to drive home. A small local Asda. And a brother came and he tapped on the window. He said, Akhi, I want to... Actually, he was in his car and I turned to move the car and he pulled down his window. He said, I want to talk to you. It's a person who's prone to shubahat and doubts for many years. So I said, Alhamdulillah, if there's some khair, may Allah bring it in this, whatever He's going to ask me. So he came, he said, I've just come to you, Akhi, you have to make tawbah. I said, Astaghfirullah. What, is there anything specific I need to make tawbah about? He said, you know. I said, I know what I do, but I don't know what you're thinking. Tell me. He said, you know what's been said. I said, what's been said? He said, you know what's been spread. I said, are we going to get to the point? What is it? He said, you know what they've been saying on YouTube and these things that are being spread. I said, are you going to get to the point? What is the issue? So actually he was, weaving around. And I said, what is it? Is it money? What is it? He goes, yeah, prevent money. Astaghfirullah. And womanizing. I said, that's news to me. And I'm sure it'd be news to my wife. That you're going to accuse me of womanizing? And money. I said, which money? He said, prevent money. He said, everyone's saying it. So I said, so you've come to me that I should make tawbah for taking money that I never got? I should need to make tawbah for money. Anyway, it is not haram to take money from the British government, as long as they're not telling you to change your religion or whatever. But I said, we didn't take money. So why should I have to make tawbah? And he goes, no, but but it's been spread. And you need to make tawbah for other things. I said, what? He said, what's been spread? He goes, everyone, the masses, they know. I said, well, masses must know something that I don't know. And this is the reality that we live in today. This is the reality that we live in today. When Yasir Qadi said what he said about Muhammad bin Abdul-Waahid, that he was a takfiri and he declared all of the Muslims to be kuffar except for himself. So I wrote that article on my website. So someone commented. And the comment said, the way that you're defending Muhammad bin Abdul-Waahid with his own statements indicates to me that actually he might be guilty. I'm still trying to get my head around that one. He's saying that the vociferous defense of Shaykh al-Islam Muhammad bin Abdul-Waahid with his own words because I've quoted Muhammad bin Abdul-Waahid himself, right? That I don't make takfir, and we don't rebel against the rulers, and we don't make takfir upon the Muslims. And even if a person was to worship at the grave, at the shrine of Fulan and Fulan. So I put those quotes in. He said, the way that you're saying all of this shows that this accusation must have some truth to it. Otherwise, why would you, and before you, he himself be defending himself like that? So this is what the people, if this is what the people are upon, then Allahu Musta'an. What do you do? Ikhlas and sincerity is extremely important, and sidq. The amount of kadhib, wallahi, and I said it the other day to Abu Hakim, and I said it to Sheikh Hassan Somali, and to some of the other brothers like Sheikh Uwais Tawil and Sheikh Abu Iyad. I said, wallahi, when we began Da'wah to Salafiyah back in the early 90s, I never heard kadhib and lying that would come off the tongues of the people as easily as it does today. They don't care. Lying, there is no distinction between truth and falsehood. So alaykum bis-sidq, my brothers and sisters. Upon you is to be truthful in all of your dealings. Barakallahu feekum.